Hello, boys and girls. Managed to pull it together for you fine folks on the internet here and get another installment together for the Matthew Buckley Talks music series. Today we're looking at another Vashti Bunyan centered album here, this time actually one by Vashti Bunyan. Her 2005 album Lookaftering, which in my last video I think I mistakenly said that it came out in 2007, which actually is when the vinyl was pressed. The CD was issued 2005 by FatCat Records for UK and Japanese markets, Rogue Records for Australian markets, Discretina Stair Builders for US markets, and Pastel Music for South Korean markets. And then in 2007 it was issued for US markets by Discretina Stair Builders for a vinyl issue. A little bit of a bio for anyone who might not know, since especially last time I discussed the artist covering Vashti Bunyan as opposed to Vashti Bunyan. Born sometime during 1945. I did a bit of research and could not find a conclusive birth date, which kind of surprised me. But born in 1945 in Newcastle upon Tyne, England, Jennifer Vashti Bunyan. Her parents moved to London when she was still a baby, and in her young adulthood she attended the Ruskin School of Drawing and Fine Art at Oxford University, but was ultimately expelled for focusing on her hobby of songcraft over her schoolwork. Through a theatrical agent, she was connected to the Rolling Stones manager and producer Andrew Loog Oldham and signed to Decca Records. A 45 RPM single was released in the summer of 1965, a song written by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, Some Things Just Stick in Your Mind, which made little impact on the charts. She moved to Columbia Records and in 1966 released another original composition, Train Song, as a follow-up, which received similarly muted reception. After recording a handful of other songs that would not see contemporary release, and making an appearance on the 1967 documentary Tonight Let's All Make Love in London, she left the city in a horse-drawn wagon with her boyfriend to travel to the Hebrides, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, with the goal of meeting singer-songwriter Donovan in the commune. During this time, she continued to write songs and met record producer Joe Boyd. He offered to record Bunyan, and in late 1969, she took up his offer and returned to London to record her debut album, Just Another Diamond Day. The album was praised by critics, but was never a big seller. Discouraged by her lack of success with several attempts over 5 or so years, Bunyan moved on from the music industry, spending the next 30 years raising her children in Ireland and Scotland, which actually is another correction I should make. In my last video, I mentioned that I wasn't sure what her ethnicity was, and I thought she was Scottish, but she is English, as I have mentioned earlier. She just lived in Scotland, so correction there for my last video. But unbeknownst to Bunyan, her Diamond Day album became something of a cult classic in this time, quietly building a reverent audience and accumulating value far beyond what she had ever imagined, vintage copies selling online for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. After receiving a letter from indie singer-songwriter Devendra Banhart, Bunyan began a rapport with several contemporary performers from a newer generation, all who cite her work as a major influence. She was prominently featured on the 2004 EP by neo-psychedelic group Animal Collective, Prospect Hummer, and the following year recorded and released her sophomore album Lookaftering, 35 years after her debut. The album features production from Max Richter and contributions from, among others, Devendra Banhart and Joanna Newsom. So, on to the music itself. Let me get a sip of tea here for the working man. That's good stuff. Side A opens with Lately, a soft and delicate acoustic song sung from Bunyan to her children, it sounds to me. I love the opening lyric, "Never was much given to prayer, but lately I'm pleading with the air." I like that a lot. And there are lyrics about, keeping your teeth in rows and wearing out the stairs to show you've been there. It's very, homey stuff. It's cute. And the next track, Here Before, sounds a bit more whimsical, featuring reversed glockenspiel effects. Sung about her children rather than to them, each verse tells of a child who could do, see, or know it all, almost like they'd been here before. It's a very good song. Like I said, very whimsical. The next track, Wayward, is a gorgeous acoustic song. Bunyan singing of wanting to be the one to wander the road rather than being the one waiting back at home for her traveling love to return. Spending every day in an unending journey, a road without end, as she sings. After the final lyrics, there's a really beautiful coda section of piano, steel acoustic guitar, nylon string guitar, and auto harp. One of the highlights of the album for me, for sure. The following track, Hidden, is another one of my personal favorites. A very delicate and sweet piano song, telling of what seems to be a love that cannot be, or at the very least, two people in a gap of understanding. Aside from Bunyan's guitar, the only other instrumentation is piano and the whimsical sound of recorders. I love every lyric of this song. It pours through me and tugs at my heartstrings without fail. The next track, Against the Sky, is a slow acoustic song, partly about the wind, but mostly about unseen forces that pull us places, much like the wind gets pulled, and featuring harp and wine glass instrumentation. It's a good song. And the next track, Turning Backs, opens with a lovely and somewhat hypnotic piano theme. Every verse opens with a statement on indifference. First, that indifference is the hardest blow, then the coldest hand, then the hardest ground. There is an undeniable somber feeling to this track, and that's how we end side A. Side B opens with If I Were, which begins with the sounds of Fender Rhodes and pneumonium, which I had actually never heard of before reading it in the credits of this album, accompanied by harp and guitar. Another one of my personal favorites on the album, a sweet but sad take on lovers leaving each other and wondering if the other would seek them out or simply say that that is that, and if the other loved them, they'd still be together. The two verses convey each opposing perspective very well, showing the mirroring lapse in understanding despite the shared desires between the two characters in the story. The next track, Same But Different, carries with it, mostly through the instrumentation, a sense of urgency that none of the other tracks quite have. The verses tell the same story, but from different perspectives. I'm on a boat, looking at you on the shore. You're on a boat, looking at me on the shore. We're on a boat, looking at the shore. And it concludes with, in the third verse, with the notion that we are the same but different. I like it. The next track, Brother, is a very basic track, only piano, guitar, and vocal. And it's really a straightforward rumination of visiting a place Bunyan used to go with her brother, seeing that nothing has changed except that he's not there. It's beautiful and sad. The piano coda after the final lyrics is particularly gorgeous, I should note, though. And the next track, Feet of Clay, is another highlight of the album and one of my personal favorites. Magnificent piano beneath lyrics of the singer asking their lover to, rather than waste this dance on them, to just dance and let the singer watch. The last verses in particular strike me. Don't waste your life on me, my love. Live and breathe the way you do. No butterfly to be pinned down and kept forever through and through. But if your love should cross with mine, I will be here on your side. As long as you want me to be, I'll not be going far and wide. Running, walking, standing still, sitting, laughing, that I can do, and wishing it could be me to dance with you. That says it all. The following track reprises a theme from side A, Wayward Hum, which is actually just a rehearsal for the actual track Wayward. And apparently Bunyan was unaware that this rehearsal had been recorded, capturing her wordless humming to the melody of the tune as she picks along on guitar. The coda drifts into a dreamy landscape of glockenspiel. This is truly a perfect close to the album. And side B, beautiful through and through. So, final thoughts. This is a wonderful album. One of my personal favorites ever. Medicine for the soul, food for the heart. This album has been able to accompany me through many dark nights and share with me many great days. Bunyan's songwriting crosses over from idyllic countryside and nomadic lifestyle themes to bittersweet tales of isolation and heartbreak and beyond. She sings of raising her children, missing her brother, letting go of love that could not be. The instrumentation of harps, wine glasses, and glockenspiels match the delicate, sensitive nature of the songs. So, I could go on, but a closer look here at the cover. Very lovely artwork of a hair, a scrawny hair. Very nice typeset. There's the back cover with simply just the tracks. And on the inside, there's a nice illustration and some thanks, some credits, lyrics, personnel, who's playing what. Let's see, I'm pretty sure it credits, credits the art. I want to say it was her daughter who did the art. Yeah, cover from a painting by Huyn Lewis. So yes, one of her children. And here's the record itself. It didn't come in this black sleeve, but I put it in this black sleeve because I just thought it was a nice aesthetic. Here's the A-side label. B-side label. Nothing too snazzy, just a very nice design. So all things considered, me personally, I don't hesitate to give this album a 10 out of 10. It's an album I listen to, front to back very easily. There's not a single track I want to skip when I play it. It's, perfect for any mood. If I'm feeling down, I can listen to this. If I'm feeling up, I can listen to this. If I, have some other stuff going on, I can listen to this. Like, it's never too much, and it's always enough. So, I could easily a 10 out of 10, for sure. 10 out of 10 album for me. So let me know below in the comments. Have you heard Lookaftering? Are you familiar with Vashti Bunyan or any of her other albums? She's only got 3, including this one. She was featured on a Nick Drake tribute album. But yeah, if you're familiar with any of her other work, let me know in the comments below. Let's get a discussion flowing. I appreciate any and all viewership. This has been Matthew Buckley Talks Music with Vashti Bunyan. Lookaftering. Music is the best.